It's like, why do I feel like I'm being punished for not being pregnant? The period farts smell insane and the period poops do too. It was traumatizing. It hurts so bad. Honestly, if we're being for real, if I could grow full bush, call me Chewbacca, because that's what it's gonna look like. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, your internet big sister Aliyah, and we are back today with a good old-fashioned TMI girl talk. Now, I haven't made one of these videos in a long time because this kind of used to be my thing, and I was thinking, girl, what is there to talk about? But there's always somebody out there that can use a little bit of help. And if you're new here or you're an older watcher, girl, sit back, grab some snacks, and we're gonna have a good chat. Now, I asked you guys over on my spam account on Instagram as well as my main account on Instagram to send me some TMI girl talk questions that you guys want me to ask, and I pulled a few so we can go ahead and chat it up, chop it up, and really just get comfortable with each other. This video is probably going to get demonetized because YouTube does not like certain terminology being used in videos. So if I censor / use replacement words, I'm sorry, it's not being childish. I just have some lights to keep on. If you guys want to support me in any other way, because this video most likely will be demonetized no matter what I do, make sure you like the video because it lets the algorithm know I'm kind of good at this whole video making thing. And make sure you subscribe if you're not already, because girl, it's free and you don't lose anything, and I post videos very frequently over here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First question, during your period, what finds you the most comfort? Because I'm super emotional on mine. I will say my period only lasts about 5 days due to me being on birth control for a while and it regulating my flow. So my most uncomfortable days are probably day 1 and 2 because the cramps are so bad, the period farts smell insane, and the period poops do too. I don't know why they smell so heinous and insane, but oh my gosh, it's honestly so bad and it makes me feel awful. I am really big on adhering to whatever my body wants it gets, especially on my period, because that's such like a treacherous time to be existing. It's like, why do I feel like I'm being punished for not being pregnant? When it comes to cravings or needing extra sleep or wanting to binge 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy in a week, if that's what my body wants, that's what she's gonna get. Am I unhealthy if my coochie suddenly has a strong odor? Now, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I feel like everything literally impacts any type of vagina health. So whether it be the odor, the discharge, it's always something going on down there and impacting it. But if you didn't know, certain foods could either bring on more odor or help alleviate odor. So honestly, even something as small as your diet can impact how you smell downstairs. And honestly, it feels like a second job to literally take care of downstairs because it's so many things that go into the overall health when it comes to your vagina. So do not be stressed. I will say, if you notice something super pungent or super just like abnormal along with some other things going on, literally do not hesitate to go to a healthcare provider, even if it's for something as small as odor. But it's better to get some clarified answers when it comes to stuff like that because you just never know what's going on. You should definitely go ahead and do the proper research and actually speaking to a doctor instead of heading to Google, because one thing Google's gonna do is gas up them symptoms and make you feel like you're gonna die tomorrow, and we don't need you thinking that. How was your first kiss like? Did you do anything to prepare for it, or did it just happen? So I actually had my first kiss in the 8th grade. So I was, I think, 13 when it happened, and I had it with my first ever boyfriend. Funnily enough, I used to post videos with him way back when because I have been doing this for a long time. Prehistoric hoe, that's me. There was nothing I could do to prepare for it because I didn't know. He just kind of did it, like kind of just put my head up, did it, and go. And I was giggling and blushing. I was like, oh my goodness, please. I was literally walking to like my 8th grade English class and my teacher made a little sly joke about it. And when I tell you, I was blushing so bad. I was so embarrassed. It was given to Abbott Elementary, get these cameras off me. Like, it was too much. It was too much. So it definitely did just happen, but honestly, I kind of wanted it to happen, so I was really excited nonetheless. Have you ever considered trying a cup or a menstrual disc? I considered it for maybe 0.2 seconds, maybe 3 years ago, but then I remembered I'll be playing around and it will be bloody, especially when you first start doing it. So I personally just didn't want to deal with the mess on the toilet as well as cleaning up the mess. I don't want something else to add to my to-do list, such as cleaning and disinfecting them, even if it is just boiling in water. I don't want to add something else to my ever long-lasting to-do list. I already feel like I have decision fatigue every single day. I don't want to add something as small as boiling my diva cup on that to-do list. Do you recommend period underwear? I've been bleeding through pads at night. Before I started birth control, used to bleed so bad. And if you didn't know, genetics do play a role in how intense your period is, whether it be your symptoms or your flow. And I was just one of those really unlucky people who had the genetics of having the worst period on the planet, especially when it came to to flow. I remember one time I woke up, I was in the 10th grade, I remember like it was yesterday. I woke up at 4:55 a.m. because that's when my alarm was set, and I got up, stood up, and it just kept coming out like into the pad that I was wearing to the point where it almost spilled over and ran down my leg. It was traumatizing. Since my periods were so heavy way back in high school before I started birth control, I personally really loved having period underwear because it gave me a sense of security. Fun fact, the first ever brand deal / sponsor of this channel was a period underwear brand, so this is kind of full circle for me. I don't know. There were times that if I didn't have those period underwear on, I would have bled all over the seat. All over the seat. I actually have another story from the 8th grade, funnily enough, where I started my period in school, and I remember feeling it, but I didn't have any pads and none of my friends did, so I went to go get toilet paper. We had no full body mirrors in my middle school bathrooms for whatever reason. Like, God forbid a girl wants to make sure she looked fly in her uniform. But I remember getting home and I literally had donut size, like splotchy blood stain on the butt of my pants to like the crotch. Thankfully, one of my friends let me use their jacket, put it around my waist because I didn't have anything that I could do. So yeah, I 100% recommend period underwear because if you can prevent a mess and some spillage, you need to go ahead and do it. How to shave your kitty. Be as detailed as possible because the lips are hard. I personally love to use men's razors with minimum 5 blades. Bonus points if I can get 6 because it gets a closer shave. You do in fact have to throw your leg up on something or just squat so you can go ahead and create as much flat surface as possible. Whenever I shave, I personally go with the grain of the hair because I notice when I personally go against, it makes more razor bumps than are absolutely needed, which means when it grows back, it itches, and you know that takes like 3 business days, and I'm not trying to be uncomfortable tomorrow when I'm shaving tonight. I go in the same direction as the hair growth and just go over it a couple times. Now, if there are just a few stubborn hairs, I will in fact go sideways first, and if they're still not coming off because they clearly want to be on me so bad, I'll go the opposite way. But I personally also really love to use a sensitive shaving cream or shaving oil down there, or even like coconut oil or conditioner works. I used to swear by that when I was a teenager because it does make a difference. And yes, I was shaving down there when I was a teenager. We are teenagers. I had vacations, and whoop-de-doo, I literally was in the group of people who thought they were going to marry their significant other when they saw them in concerts. Yes, I was shaving. What are you gonna do about it? I go from like the front part to up under in that order instead of going from up under to the front part because I feel like where like the lips are and everything, you just kind of have to get finicky in the crevices. Like, don't be afraid to like move skin out the way and like, you know, do your whole thing, go in circles, go in U shapes, move a lip, do some shaving, do the whole vibe, because that's the best way you're gonna get the best shave. You gotta be a little flexible. Now, one of my favorite shaving tips when it comes to out there is using this little roller ball that I have from Topicals. Now, do not use this the night that you shave. You need to do it probably like 24 to 48 hours after you shave to help with ingrowns. And when I tell you, oh my gosh, my bikini line loves this so bad. It's something I always recommend, and I love it so bad. I use it all the time, especially in the summer and springtime. I use it on my underarms, on my knees, on my bikini line, anywhere that I notice I get a lot of ingrowns. Baby, I'm using that right there, and it works every single time. What should I expect my first time doing the do? Probably some pain. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world the first time because your body's not used to, I don't want to say a foreign object, but other objects touching you in such ways, and probably isn't going to help that you're nervous, making that pain a little bit worse because you're a little tense. But the best thing I can advise you to do is try to relax as much as you can, because when you're tense, it makes it so much worse than it needs to be. If they know what they're doing, it should be minimal pain, but you got to give your body the time to actually, like, you know, get used to it and vibe. Don't expect anything super insane. The movies be lying, babe. It's not going to be amazing the first time. Maybe like the third time you'll start to get the hang of it, but the first, no. Waxing, razor, laser, or bush. Hear me out. I was doing laser hair removal for like over a year way back when, so I do not have that much growth down there, but whenever I do want to get rid of hair down there, I am in fact a shaver. I have never ever gotten my punani waxed or anything of the sort because, girl, it hurts so bad. I have waxed body parts such as like my underarms or like my treasure trail on my stomach, and even like my toes and my legs, and it hurts so bad. I can't imagine that happening on my lip. Oh no, please. Honestly, if we're being for real, if I could grow full bush, call me Chewbacca, because that's what it's gonna look like. When to know when to leave a man. How to know when to leave a man? What a loaded question. My biggest thing when it comes to leaving men is if they are consistently not showing that, hey, I am here for you, you need to get gone. I also really think another big for sure sign is when they're not considering you anymore and they're not making you a priority. As somebody who thinks that consideration is the absolute highest form of love, I personally think that when somebody stops considering me, I I need to get gone. Whether it's a partner or a friendship, I'm gonna get going up out of there. I don't want to be there. That's somewhere I don't want to be. Because why would I even subject myself to that type of, in my head, neglect? Because why are you not thinking about me yet you care about me? It's meant to thank you so much, but you don't even consider my feelings in any situation that you're put in. Oh. Your opinion on virginity. Wanting to lose it, wanting to wait, is it just a social construct? I personally don't have an opinion on any virginity that was not mine, and I still don't. I do think it is a purity social construct that people have engraved within our society and culture to have some gain and to look at certain people a certain way. Yes, but at the end of the day, that is something that relates more to like the patriarchy and how women are looked at versus, oh, what she got going on in them drawers. No matter what, I have no opinion on anything past that, because at the end of the day, it's nobody's business but the person who's going about those actions, and that's pretty much it. How to know to approach a guy and tell him you like him. First and foremost, I think flirting is a lost art and not everybody knows how to do it, because babe, there's no reason that you getting on Tinder, you swiping left and right and you match with somebody and it's the most dead conversation in the world. Like, not only do the people not know how to small talk and have conversation, but they also don't know how to flirt. And people don't know how to kiss either, but that's a whole nother conversation. I feel like there's not really a way to how to know to approach a guy other than he's being blatantly obvious with his feelings towards you, if that's what you're waiting for. But I'm really big on putting your pride to the side and just telling people how you feel. I'm real big on, I'm only gonna be here once and I don't want to live with no type of regret. So if I'm feeling somebody, I am going to tell them. And it could be something as simple as, oh, I think you're handsome, I think you're cute, I would love to explore something with you. We really go together, we have great chemistry, I would love to see where this goes. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. It's really not that hard. I think the part that makes it hard is because people fear rejection, but once you realize rejection isn't saying no, it's leading you somewhere else to something potentially better or something that's more fitting towards you, you start to look at things a lot better. What did Kevin Gates say? When you change your perspective, that's when miracles happen? Yeah. How do you handle terrible PMS symptoms? Everybody's like, oh, I feel terrible when I'm bleeding, oh, I feel terrible when I'm doing this. Every single third day before my period starts, so whenever my period is 3 days away and the night before my period starts, I am an emotional wreck. Everything is getting on my nerves. I get frustrated so easily, and without a doubt, I cry every single month the day before my period starts for no freaking reason. When it comes to dealing with my bad PMS symptoms, I have the same approach as to when I want to be comfortable on my period. Whatever my body wants or needs or wants to get out, I just let it out in the most healthy way that I can. Now, if somebody cuts me off in the Trader Joe's when I'm already having such a sensory overload, am I gonna cuss them out? No. Am I gonna yell at the person who just cut me off in traffic? I live in North Carolina, so there's a chance that I might, but honestly, when I'm PMSing, no, I'll probably just cry about it instead. I think having healthy outlets, especially for those emotional outbursts when it comes to my PMSing, is the best thing that has ever happened to me. For example, if I'm mad and I'm PMSing, I go and journal, or I just go ahead and cry about it. If I feel like something's really annoying me, I talk to one of my friends and vent about it if they are fine with receiving that information. Having different outlets to deal with these really emotional and hormonally charged moments is a really good thing to have, and I think everybody should have some things to help them with that. When to stop doing it for the plot. I'm 50-50 on it though, because I do love a good experience, but you have to have a certain level of discernment to know, hey, this is good for me, or oh, I'm just doing to do it. So honestly, depending on what pillar that it falls under and what it would impact in your life and how old you are and what situations you got going on right now, maybe you could keep doing it for the plot. Maybe you drop it and see something else later down the line. I don't know, it just depends. Because sometimes you do in fact have to just do stuff for the plot, but not if it's gonna impact you in like the most negative way possible. So having that level of discernment definitely should help you decide that decision. What are good methods of dealing with a breakup? I'm really struggling right now. First things first, everybody's top tip, you have to go no contact. I don't care what anybody says. I know it hurts extra when you guys left off on good terms, but you have to go no contact. Out of sight, out of mind. This is in fact relevant when it comes to relationships specifically. When you're with somebody for such a long amount of time, they become a part of your routine. So the easiest way to get them out of your routine is to completely kick them to the curb, and not even in a negative way, but just throw them off to the side, because you have to get used to life without having them around as much anymore. You don't want to keep depending on them to be a part of your routine when you broke up. It's a breakup. You're supposed to be breaking apart. So they need to get out of your routine, and no contact is the easiest way to do that. Next thing personally is staying busy. I don't care if you go from going to the gym 3 times a week to going 5 times a week, whether you're watching 5 seasons of a TV show to 10 seasons, whether you're working 40 hours a week to going 60. Actually, don't do that because work-life balance. I don't care if you pick up a new hobby, a new skill, or you're learning something new, you need to find something to fill your time to keep you occupied. Breakups are definitely one of those things that can be grieved because relationships could either be super good or super bad, but at the end of the day, that was a part of your life and a chapter of your life that you are closing. So it's normal to grieve that. But grief is one of those things that show up in the most insane ways and at the most random times. You could be having the best day of your life and then get hit with a wave of emotions. That's just what humans do, and that's how grief works. So you have to give yourself the space to actually go through those motions and grieve that relationship in a healthy way, in the best way that you know how. Do you still use Honey Pot period products, or do you use a different brand? The only Honey Pot products that I still personally use to this day is the Sensitive Feminine Wash. I personally have never really tried the Honey Pot pads or tampons or anything. I personally use the You by Kotex brand because that has just worked for me the longest time, and if it works and it's not broke, I'm personally not gonna fix it. But I hear great things about the Honey Pot period products because they have like the little peppermint ones and it literally feels like spicy. Like, that's personally not for me, but I love that for those who do use that. So I'm curious to know your experiences with those down below. I feel behind in life because I'm almost 23 and still a virgin. I just want love. Just because you've never hunched on somebody does not mean that you have not found love. I know you're talking about romantic love, but you probably have a lot of love in your life that you don't realize. Whether if it's from a pet or a close friend or a family member, you have love in your life, but you're looking for something more intimate and something that you can share with one other person that you don't necessarily want to share with one of your homegirls or homeboys. Sex is just something that's a natural part of life, and when it happens, it happens. You definitely are not behind, because I think a lot more people have not engaged in sexual intercourse than what you may think, especially at 23, because at 23 you have to realize people are freshly out of college. We're also in an epidemic where nobody knows how to talk to each other. The dating pool has literal piss in it. Like, it's so bad. It's so much easier to say, don't feel like you're behind because you haven't been hunched on, but like, literally don't feel behind because you have not been touched or hunched on. There's so many other things in life that are so much more riveting than sex, in my humble opinion, and honestly, some of those things including travel, or a good marg night at a Mexican restaurant with your friends, or a good debrief after one of your friends had a one-night stand and hookup, and hearing about how much of a madhouse it was. There's no better feeling than getting your degree, getting a good grade on something you work for, finally getting yourself something that you've been saving up for a long time. Like, there's so many other fulfilling things that can make you feel like you're loved and you love what you're doing other than sex. So with that being said, that has been this TMI girl talk. I loved answering you guys' questions because I love interacting with you and seeing what you have going on, and because this is my first video back in a while with this type of like theme in nature, definitely let me know what you think. And if you guys have any advice / responses to any of the questions that were asked in this video, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, because you never know who you can help. And if you personally also have your own questions, definitely leave them in the comments as well, so I or somebody else could give you some advice to help you kind of figure out your situation and see it more clearly. Now, this is YouTube, so you know what to do. Like, subscribe, join the family if you haven't already, and if you're still here, make sure you comment this emoji with your comment, or just comment this emoji if you have nothing else to say, to let me know you made it to the end of the video, so I know that you're a real one and you actually enjoyed this video. And I hope you have an amazing morning, evening, or night wherever in the world, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.